Maris Ellington's soul belonged to the ocean. From her earliest memories, the rhythmic sound of the waves was a lullaby, and the salty breeze felt like a gentle embrace. The sea was not just a backdrop to her life, it was the very heart of it. As a child, she was irresistibly drawn to the shoreline, spending hours collecting seashells and marveling at the treasures the tide would bring. Each shell was a story, each tide pool a world of wonder. She would press her face to the glass at the local aquarium, dreaming of swimming alongside mysterious deep-sea creatures, imagining adventures in the vast, blue unknown. While other children played games on the sand, Maris found her purpose in the salt air and the endless horizon. The ocean was her playground, her sanctuary, and her inspiration. As she grew older, her love for the sea deepened. She began volunteering at local rescue centers, learning to care for injured sea turtles and stranded dolphins. Each life she helped save strengthened her resolve to protect the ocean and its creatures. Her passion led her to study marine biology, where she immersed herself in understanding the delicate balance of marine ecosystems and the urgent need for conservation. Eventually, her journey brought her to Ocean World, a renowned marine park known for its commitment to marine research and animal welfare. For Maris, working with the majestic killer whales wasn't just a job, it was a calling that fulfilled her childhood dreams and challenged her every day. She saw the whales as individuals, each with their own personalities and stories, not simply as performers for an audience. Through patience, respect, and gentle persistence, she built bonds of trust with these intelligent giants, learning their subtle cues and unique ways of communicating. Maris spent countless hours observing their behavior, taking notes, and earning their trust, always striving to understand their needs and ensure their well-being. Her colleagues admired her unwavering dedication and the quiet compassion she brought to her work. The whales, in turn, responded to her with affection and trust, forming a bond that was visible to all who watched. Ocean World became more than just a workplace. It became her true home, a place where her lifelong love for the sea and its creatures could truly flourish. Here, surrounded by the animals she cherished and the people who shared her passion, Maris found a sense of belonging she had always sought. Maris Ellington had found her place, not on land, but where the sky meets the water, in the shimmering blue expanse she had loved since childhood. In the end, it was the ocean that called her home, a life forever bound to the sea, where her spirit could soar as freely as the waves themselves. The killer whales were the stars of Ocean World, dazzling audiences with their sheer size and striking black and white beauty. Their presence was magnetic, drawing visitors from all over who longed to witness these magnificent creatures up close. With every leap and splash, they captivated crowds, blending raw power with an unexpected grace. The energy in the stadium would rise as the whales soared through the air, their movements both athletic and elegant. To visitors, these orcas seemed like friendly ambassadors of the sea, always ready to perform and delight. Children would press their faces to the glass, eyes wide with wonder, while families cheered and clapped at every trick. But Maris, one of the senior trainers, understood that their intelligence and instincts ran far deeper than any show could reveal. She saw the curiosity in their eyes, the subtle ways they communicated, and the depth of their emotions. Her mornings began poolside, greeting each whale by name, checking their health, and observing their moods. She paid close attention to every detail, from the way they swam to the sounds they made, ensuring each whale felt safe and cared for. Before the crowds arrived, Maris cherished these quiet moments. The park was still, the water calm, and it was just her and the whales, sharing a peaceful connection that set the tone for the day. These early hours were when her bond with the whales was strongest. In the gentle light of dawn, trust was built not through commands, but through patience and understanding. Maris believed in positive reinforcement and empathy, never forcing behaviors. She rewarded cooperation with treats and affection, always respecting the whale's boundaries and choices. Over time, she learned to recognize each whale's unique voice and mood. She could sense when one was playful, or when another needed space, understanding their needs beyond the spectacle of the show. The public saw only the spectacle, the flips, the splashes, the perfectly timed routines. But behind every performance were hours of patient work, gentle encouragement and mutual respect. For Maris, it was never about applause or recognition. What mattered most was the profound connection she shared with these remarkable animals, a bond built on trust and understanding. Her dedication set her apart, earning respect from both her peers and the whales themselves. She became a role model for new trainers, showing that compassion and patience were the keys to success. In the end, the real magic was not in the tricks or the cheers, but in the quiet moments of trust and friendship that could only be found between Maris and her gentle giants. Maris's deepest bond was with Telik, the park's largest and most misunderstood killer whale. While others saw danger, Maris saw intelligence and sensitivity. She spent years earning Tilik's trust, learning his subtle cues and favorite games. Their relationship became the heart of their performances. Audiences were mesmerized by their harmony. Maris believed their connection could bridge the gap between human and whale, yet she never forgot Tilik's wild nature and respected his immense power. Still, her trust in him was unwavering, perhaps blinding her to the risks. Their bond was extraordinary, but it would soon face a tragic test. The line between trust and danger was thinner than anyone realized. Maris's faith in their connection would be pushed to its limits. November 8, 2025, began like any other show day at Ocean World. The stadium buzzed with excitement as Maris prepared backstage, focused and calm in her wetsuit. The crowd cheered as she stepped onto the platform, but her attention was on Tilik, waiting in the pool. Their private moment before the show was a ritual. Maris's quiet words, Tilik's attentive gaze. The performance started flawlessly. Tilik leaped, splashed, and followed every cue with grace. Maris moved with confidence, guiding him through the routine. The bond between them seemed unbreakable, captivating everyone watching. It was a perfect display of trust and harmony, but beneath the surface the unpredictable nature of the wild was always present. The stage was set for a moment that would change everything. No one could foresee the tragedy about to unfold. As the show neared its finale, the mood shifted to intimacy for the Dine with Tilik segment. Maris lay on a ledge, speaking softly to Tilik and rewarding him for his performance. The atmosphere was serene, but Tilik's demeanor subtly changed. His posture stiffened, his responses faded. Maris, ever the professional, tried to guide him back, signaling for a simple behavior. Tilik didn't respond, his gaze fixed on her. The dynamic shifted. He was no longer a partner, but a powerful, unpredictable force. The audience remained unaware, but Maris sensed something was wrong. Her smile tightened, concern flickering in her eyes. The shadow of Tilik's massive form grew darker in the water. In that moment, the line between trust and danger vanished. The beautiful setting masked a silent, growing tension. The stage was set for disaster. In a heartbeat, tension turned to crisis. The air was thick with anticipation, but no one could have predicted what was about to unfold. Families, children, and longtime fans of the show sat on the edge of their seats, unaware that they were about to witness a life-altering event. Tilik seized Maris's ponytail, not aggressively, but with a firm grip. It was a moment that seemed almost playful at first, a gesture that trainers had experienced before, but this time, something was different. The connection between them, once built on trust, now felt uncertain. The crowd gasped, unsure if it was part of the act. Some even laughed nervously, thinking it was a new trick, while others exchanged worried glances, sensing the tension rising on stage. Maris stayed calm, trying to free herself without panic. Years of training had prepared her for unexpected moments, and she relied on every ounce of her experience to keep the situation under control. But Tilik pulled her into the deep water, shocking the audience into silence. The playful atmosphere vanished, replaced by a chilling sense of dread as the reality of the danger became clear. Trainers rushed to intervene, slapping the water and calling Tilik's name, but he ignored them. Their voices echoed through the stadium, desperate and urgent, but the orca's focus was unwavering. Maris fought for her life with composure, trying to reconnect with Tilik, even as he pulled her deeper. She used every technique she knew, hoping to remind him of their bond, but the orca's behavior was unpredictable and frightening. The audience watched in horror as the show turned into a nightmare. Parents shielded their children's eyes, and the once joyful crowd was now frozen in disbelief, powerless to help. The trainer's desperate efforts were futile. Tilik's focus was unbreakable. Every attempt to distract or command him failed, and the sense of helplessness grew with every passing second. Maris's training and resolve were extraordinary, but she was at the mercy of a wild animal. Her courage was undeniable, but even the best preparation could not guarantee safety in this moment. The bright day turned dark in an instant. The energy in the stadium shifted as if the weather itself sensed the tragedy unfolding below. The unthinkable had happened. The bond was broken. The tools and signals that once brought harmony now floated uselessly in the water, symbols of a trust that had been shattered. The water, once a place of trust, became a scene of tragedy. In that moment, everything changed, not just for Maris and Tillich but for everyone who witnessed the event, and for the world that would soon hear their story. Minutes felt like hours as Tillich dragged Maris through the water, submerging her again and again. Each time she surfaced, she fought for air, her strength fading. Trainers deployed nets and tried to lure Tillich away, but he was too powerful and agitated. The audience was frozen in shock, the joyful atmosphere gone. Maris's resolve never wavered, but exhaustion set in. In her final moments, she still tried to reach safety. Tillich pulled her under one last time. The trainer's efforts came too late. The pool grew still, the silence overwhelming. The spectacle had ended in heartbreak. The cost of captivity was laid bare for all to see. After the tragedy, Ocean World fell silent. Emergency responders arrived, but nothing could be done. The park closed, visitors left in shock, and Tillich became the focus of a global debate. Maris's death sparked questions about the ethics of keeping killer whales in captivity. Documentaries, articles, and activism followed, highlighting the psychological toll on these animals. Maris was remembered for her passion, but her loss became a symbol of a flawed system. The world mourned a dedicated advocate and began to reconsider the price of entertainment. Maris Ellington's death changed the marine park industry forever. Trainers were no longer allowed in the water with killer whales, shows shifted from spectacle to education, public opinion turned, and attendance at parks declined. Many institutions phased out breeding programs and theatrical performances. Maris's story became a catalyst for reform, prioritizing animal welfare over entertainment. Her legacy is one of love, caution, and a reminder of the wildness that can never be tamed. She is remembered for her dedication, and for the lesson her tragedy taught the world. Respect for these creatures means honoring their true nature. The world she loved was forever changed by her final moments.